Hello, ladies and gentlemen. How are you today? I'd like to dedicate this small post to Make America Great Again and to those who support Donald Trump as President of the United States and even as the next President of the United States. I want to say something to those of you who are mega guys. I realize you've gone through some major changes in your lives, just as I have and a lot of us have. The difference is that you have been taught to believe that we are the problem and that you deserve more and better than we do. And so you've been lifted up to the degree that they got you hating us. They got you that you're willing to go and get guns and kill us. They have taken, if you had any regard for God, they have taken that away from you. But I want you to know that I understand personally how you've been manipulated and misguided, and I understand why you believe as you do believe. I just want to tell you that it's truly all fake. Now, when Trump tells you stuff is fake, he's trying to trick you. He knows that everything that he does is fake. But he wants you to put your mind on everybody else. Everybody else is fake. And he's telling you that. He knows that you are having pain. He knows that you're suffering. And he's telling you that everybody else is your problem. That's not true, ladies and gentlemen. He represents your problem. He represents your every problem. You remember when he used to come to you and campaign, and he always wanted to make sure he had that big plane with Trump written on it. That plane represented authority. How many of you got any kind of plane? And here's this guy with this big old plane sitting out there behind him representing all of this power that you don't have. And he's lying, but you don't know it. He tells you that he's a multi-billionaire. He said, I think somewhere I heard him say he had $10 billion. Now, I'm not going to say he's not a billionaire. I don't know. But that's what he would say. He's a multi-billionaire, got all his planes and stuff like this. And he wasn't dependent upon any billionaire. He's not depending upon any corporate executive. He needs his own money. And he loves you. He loves you who have been trampled on by laws and regulations protecting people like me over you. Now, you know that's not true. You know the laws have always protected you over me. And anytime they try to make some settlement or adjustments for me, I admit they did step on you a little bit, like affirmative action. Affirmative action is nothing but a screw over. It's been messing over black people all the time. Now they want to pretend like they like black people or going to be a little fair with black people, and they step over there and screw over you. That's not fair. That's not leadership. But that's the way it is. So I understand that. But I want you to know, look, not all of you are suffering at the same degree. There are many of you that's working, got jobs, paying taxes and everything. You're doing all kinds of things. But how do you feel about this big rich man, billionaire with his planes? Now he doesn't even have to have the Trump plane. He got the, Air Force One, if they haven't changed the name. It's a bigger plane, does all kinds of things. He got that behind him when he go to rallies now, because he wants you to think now that he's a bigger man. But look at this bigger man, ladies and gentlemen. Some of you are first responders. Some of you are school teachers. Some of you have all kinds of jobs, stocking food shelves. Some of you work, migrant workers working on farms and stuff like that. Some of you do all kinds of things. And yet you have to pay taxes. Yes, you have to pay taxes, and you are still complaining, you're still suffering because you don't have the food, adequate food and shelter and education. You're still complaining, and that's why he was able to deceive you. He comes over there talking that stuff. He gonna cut taxes, and he did. But who really reaped them, ladies and gentlemen? All of those big rich boys that he said that he didn't need because he had his own money. Yes. In order for him to make the laws change so he can receive all kinds of money, Trump, that he can receive all kinds of breaks, he made sure that all the rich people can receive all kinds of breaks. And they don't care. It didn't do anything for the 200 million of you. 200 million of you out here in America And I'm talking about not just you mega guys now. I'm talking about all of us. Over 200 million of you. That tax break didn't do anything for us. And look, the mega people, how did you feel when you found out that you've been paying taxes? You really couldn't afford it. You wish you had that money. And here's this big billionaire with all those billions of dollars, with all this big power behind him and his planes and buildings and his recognition and TV stardom and all of that he is. How much did he contribute to the police force? How much did he contribute to those trash people who had to pick up your trash? How much did he contribute to the people who are working with the lighting and the infrastructure of your cities and of your towns and of your state? How much did he contribute to that? $750. Much less than you. And he had you thinking that he cared about you. You see how much he cared about you, don't you? America, you see how much he cared about you? $750 worth. He's been stepping on everything that this Constitution ever represented. The Constitution needed changing, but it didn't need nobody to stomp it. It needs somebody to lift it up. He came in and stomped it. Now, all you mega brothers and sisters, I want to tell you something. I have done more in my lifetime for you than Donald Trump ever. For you, my friends, when I was in the military, I chose to accept an other than honorable separation. But for you, why? Because I know you're being screwed. I chose to commit crimes so that I could put this message of freedom and liberation on display so that maybe you could hear it, knowing that if you rejected it, I'd go to prison. And you didn't hear it. And I did go to prison. But I'm doing this for you, not for me alone. Sure, if you benefit, I will too. But I have chosen not to benefit in things that you didn't benefit with as well. So, yes, I've done more for you than Trump. I've given my whole life to you for the past 40 years. And yet you would pick up a gun and want to kill me in the name of somebody like Donald Trump that's been using you to mess over you, to screw you. I understand. It's that way. I mean, where I'm talking about, what I'm saying to you, it's got to be divine. Because ain't nobody that's talking about it. There ain't nobody that's thinking about it. Oh, there's some beautiful, wonderful people on earth now. I'm not trying to take that away from you. But in the midst of all of that, there's pain, there's suffering, there's lying, there's cheating, there's stealing, there's no justice, there's no fairness. All this stuff is just screwed up. Yes, there are some places that's better than others. You know, we always say we got our lesser of two evils. Today you might say Democrats is better than the Republicans, and tomorrow you might say different. Today you might say Paris or some other place in France is better than New York. Anything, you know, any day things might change, but you will never say that things are all right all across the board. Why? Because you don't practice it. You don't understand it. You don't know it. And we who do can't get upset with you. Hey, at one time we were just like you. We didn't know nothing. We were just as ignorant and stupid as we can be, just like all of us are today. We just as ignorant. And who am I talking about? I'm talking about everybody in America. I'm talking about all the people on the face of the earth. We are just as ignorant and stupid as we can be. Sure, we got a lot of knowledge and we can do some magnificent things. We are smart. We are wise. We are great. Yes, we are. All of us. Greater than what we have been led to believe that we are. But it doesn't mean anything if it doesn't protect us. It doesn't mean anything if it doesn't preserve us. It doesn't mean anything if it doesn't give us life. And the only thing that would allow us to receive that life, ladies and gentlemen, is to experience the truth. The truth that ain't no human being superior to another human being. There's no human being on the face of the earth anywhere superior to another human being. You can call yourself king, queen, prince, princess, pope, president, white, black, I don't care what you call it. There's not an individual on the face of this earth that's superior to another. There's only one power superior to any human being, and I'm talking to 8 billion folks. There's only one power superior to you as an individual. and you can't even see it. It's invisible. It's God. Now you got to know that God. And how do you know that God? By allowing that God to live in you. Put out that junk that you've been indoctrinated. Throw that stuff away and allow that spirit of love, because this is what it's all about, ladies and gentlemen. It's love. Why do you know it's love? Because it answers all your questions. It brings you peace, gives you prosperity, gives you freedom, gives you joy, makes your dreams come true. Wants, needs, desires met. Food, clothing, shelter, education, healthcare, and all these other things. It does it for you. That's the God you pull in out of the invisible and put it inside of you and let it live inside of you. And the only thing that will guarantee that it will work, ladies and gentlemen, if when you look out and see 7,900,000,000 and whatever numbers that make it out to 8, less your one, you see that in everybody else. There's nobody above them but God. And all that you got, that they have access to if they desire, theirs as well. And the only way for that to go through together is for us to work together in it. Just doing not what somebody's designing for us to do, but what we were made to do. And what we were made to do will reveal itself, because it'll start expressing itself in pursuing. Now that's by heaven on earth, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I have given you a little indoctrination about something that's beautiful. And yet, most of you are still thinking about Donald Trump. I mean, how can... Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for giving me this your time. This is Eddie Marcus, one more time saying goodbye.